Hey guys, it's Malachi here. I just want to give a big thanks to everybody that has been watching my videos and supporting my channel and all my new subscribers. I love you very much and I appreciate you guys supporting me each and every day when I upload everything new. Today we're going to talk about communication and how to properly communicate healthily and why it is so important. So before we get started, please make sure to, if you're new, like, share, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and now let's dive deep into the kaleidoscopic eye. Okay guys, so welcome back. So as I said in the first end of the video, we're going to talk about communication and healthy ways to communicate and why it's so important to start communicating healthily. So everybody, we all consume food, okay? We think that just consuming food, it either heals us or it poisons us. And we think that that's the only nourishment that we actually need. But when it comes to life, we get we consume all of our nourishment from things that we see, hear, touch, taste, smell, and all the things that go around us in our daily lives. We take these things in, and if it's positive, we are getting nourishment. But if it's not positive, then it poisons our soul. Like we get into that negativity, we start fighting, things like that, and it just circulates and it's not healthy. So we got to be very mindful of what we are consuming on a day-to-day basis. It will determine whether we are aiding ourselves or embedding ourselves, really. So it starts with how we communicate with ourselves. Are we talking good about ourselves? Are we lifting ourselves up? Or are we constantly belittling ourselves, being like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough friends, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, what are you doing for self-talk? That's the first fundamental to good, healthy communication. If you can't communicate well with yourself, you can't communicate well with anybody else, and vice versa. So it starts with us first. Keys to connecting and communicating with others start with connecting with yourself. So a good way to start practicing these kind of things is affirmations. They're really great. Meditating, really great. Yoga, walking in nature, grounding yourself, being in the present moment and not worrying so much about what is coming and what isn't coming, just enjoying things for what they are. If you're in a negative loop, well, try to do something positive and healthy to help crack you out of that. There's another thing that's really great when it comes to communicating, and it is the 6 mantras of loving speech. This is a Buddhist practice, so it helps you to get into a frame of mind of communicating with others and with yourselves. The 6 mantras are, number 1, I am here for you. When you show up for people, it makes them feel great. It shows them that they are loved and appreciated. Number 2, I know you are there for me and I'm happy about this. It acknowledges to another person that you understand their presence in your life and you appreciate them. Number 3, I know you suffer and that is why I'm here for you. It lets somebody who's in a negative loop know that they are cared for, and it helps bring them back to the present moment. It makes them feel safe and comforted. Number 4, I suffer. I want you to know it. I don't understand why you did or said what you did. Please explain it to help me understand. This one is great because a lot of times we have miscommunication among relationships in our lives, whether it's family, friends, foe. We tend to say things and it's not being heard in the right manner because we're not communicating it in the way we're anticipating. So this helps to clear the air. It asks for clarification. It lets the person know exactly where you're at, and it helps with the whole process of open communication, loving open communication. Number 5, I am happy in this moment. It shows that you are in the present moment and you are appreciating everything that is happening at that time. And it shows the person that you're sharing that moment with that you enjoy their company, so it can bring about more in the future. And number 6, the last mantra: you are partly right. Sometimes people will come at us with criticism or comments, things like that. And so we get defensive. And this way of saying I am partly right explains that, you know what, from that perspective of what they're seeing, they could be right. There could be a part of you that is acting in a certain way that expresses to them that is who you are. But just remember that you saying that tells them that, you know what, in this moment, you are right. I'm doing those actions, but that is not who I am at my core purpose, at my core soul. So yeah, these 6 mantras, if you repeat them on a constant, they will change the dynamic of your communication forever. Like, hands down. When difficulty arises, don't communicate with anger. This leads to more suffering and more confusion. Just a good way to practice when you're in confrontation or things are being difficult around you is deep breathing techniques. If you take the time to take space, walk away calmly from the situation, level yourself out, and come back, you can talk in a more loving manner, and you can usually change the dynamic very quickly. Successful work with communication. When you're at work, are you going to work in a state like, oh my God, I hate my job? Are you anticipating trauma and pain before you even get there? A lot of people, we don't like the jobs that we do. So on your way to work, we're thinking about all the things that could go wrong. Is your boss going to yell at you today? Things like that. So it's good to practice when you're on your way to work. Again, mindful breathing. Get into that moment of you are here to effectively communicate and do the best that you can bring. And this will change the dynamic when you're at work. So instead of going in there and everything falling to crap as it normally would, you're already in a healthy mind state. So you are able to communicate your needs a little bit better. And it's not going to cause so much confrontation in the surroundings around you. Another point is creating community in the world. As powerful and as compassionate communication can be, it can be extremely more powerful in our relationships as it magnifies what we are doing around us. Not only in our close relationships, but in the community around us. If you are coming in a loving manner and you are being open and receptive, it is going to shine back onto you. And again, if people aren't communicating properly with you, you can always leave the situation, take a break, come back. Come back with a level playing field, a level communication, like come back where you're on a solid plane within yourself so that you can alliterate what you need to in order to get the point of how you're feeling across, but in a loving and respectful manner. And when you do this, it branches out to not only your friends and family, but your community around you. If you're being mindful consistently, it's going to mirror back to you. And eventually other people, if you are being like that towards them, they're going to start mirroring it back to you. It's almost like training the people around you, but it's doing it in a very loving manner that's not so much manipulative. You're just showing them that you are caring, you are being respectful, and you expect that back. And it's really hard to be mean to somebody that's being really nice. Like, think about it. When's the last time you were being mean to somebody that was extremely nice to you and understanding and communicating properly? Probably didn't happen. If it did, well, then you need to check why. How to practice compassionate communication. At times we get lost in the narrative, we get lost in our thoughts, in our actions, and it's important to become mindful and self-aware of these dark actions within ourselves. That way we can switch how we respond to other people and to ourselves. Because again, it stems back to us. If we are thinking these negative thoughts, we're going to branch that off to everybody else. So first ourselves, then it can go on to other people. How you can do this? Focusing on the person. Focus on what they have to say. Listen very intently to what that person is telling you. Do not rush to respond. Allow them to get off what they need to say. Then you come back and you respond and you go with the conversation. Speak well about others. Don't sit there gossiping about what Tom, Dick, and Sally did, because that just is going to bring the conversation into a really crappy state, and then you both are going to be left depleted. Don't do that. Okay, number 5, don't take things personally. Everybody is going through their own turmoil at some point. We all have things that we're going through in life, whether we're stressed at work, at home. There's so many different things that people are going through that they do not bring to light. So if you are bringing your best self and you are communicating in a loving manner to other people and you're being open and honest and receptive, sometimes people around you, they are in their own crap. So they will project their shit onto you. Excuse my language. But remember that it's not about you. It's about what they're going through. So don't take that personal and just brush it off. Allow them to do it. Well, don't allow them to do it, but they're going to do what they're going to do anyways. So just accept the situation for what it is. Brush it off, move away, and go on with your merry day. Don't let it bring you into that circling mindset. Number 6, avoid assumptions. Don't just assume things. A lot of times miscommunication happens with people because they assume something is happening that isn't actually happening. Ask questions. If you are uncertain about what's going on in any relationship or friendship or family setting or work setting, make sure that you ask if you don't fully understand. It is very important to do this because a lot of times we misconstrue what is actually being presented to us. And then we get into that loop. So if you are communicating in a loving fashion and in a healthy fashion, you will ask questions so that you fully understand, so that no problems arise later. That way you both are on the same page, whoever you're dealing with. Number 7, always be yourself. Do not dim your light for anybody. This is very important. Some people are going to criticize who you are, what you talk about, what you do. Do not let them change who you are. It's not their job. Be you. If you are being loving and you're being creative and you're being the bright star that you are, keep doing that. There's always going to be naysayers, and there's always going to be somebody in your proximity that's going to try to change what they think is right for you, or what you're doing is wrong, and this and that and this. Just let it go, because you know what? At the end of the day, when they're doing those things, they've got a bunch of turmoil, and what they're doing is they're trying to control you because they can't control themselves. So just allow them to be who they are and be who you are at the end of the day. Number 8, the last thing, seek opportunities to be compassionate. A good way with healthy communication is to go out and do nice things for other people. Go out to that old folks' home and spend some time with that lonely grandma or grandpa. Oh my God, can't talk again. Go down the street and hang out with a homeless person, talk to them, find out their story, like do something, make a new friend. Go, if you see somebody sitting, like say you're in school, for example, if you see someone sitting alone, go talk to them, open up, be compassionate, because you're going to be really surprised. A lot of the times a stranger is your new best friend. Like, we don't even know. We're so stuck in trying to fit in that we forget to expand out. So seek out opportunities where you can be compassionate. You can use those communication skills to broaden your circle and to make new friends and great opportunities. That's the last point I have for today. I will probably do another video, but I don't want to make this one super long today. But these points that I've talked about, they're pretty good. Remember the 6 mantras, practicing compassionate communication. There's 8 points there. Creating community around you, being mindful of what you are telling yourself and others. Again, self-awareness is key when it comes to healthy communication. When you can be self-aware within yourself, it becomes so easy to do it when you're dealing with other people. So I hope this helps. Remember to use some of these key points. If you have any other helpful tips, comment down below. Tell me what you use for healthy communication. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. Much love.